everyone, this is Claudia from the Bookkeeping Experts. I've been a bookkeeper for a long time, and I'm here to help you navigate through QuickBooks Online so you can also become a QuickBooks Online expert. Today we're going to talk about three most common errors that we see happening on QuickBooks Online when clients are recording payments on their customer's invoice. We're going to go through those three errors, common errors, and we're going to teach you how to fix those. So stay tuned. And here we go to QuickBooks Online. Okay. So here we have two deposits on the client's main bank account. Keep in mind, this is a simple account. So we just created those transactions. And we're going to show you what happened here, what I see the most. Okay, so this client made these two deposits, but these two deposits include multiple payments from multiple clients. And we see that the first most common error is when client record the payments straight into the bank account when it is multiple payments or multiple payments to one deposit. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that. If I click on go to bank register, we are going to see a couple of those transactions that belong to November 4th and adds up to 1250. Okay, I can calculate, I can add up in my head. So that's the $500 and the $750. So adds up to 1250, and this payment was recorded straight into the bank account. So if you click on the transaction from the register, you can click on edit. You see that the bank account or the payment was recorded straight to Chase. How to fix that, how to send it to undeposited funds, you're going to click on the arrow, and here you'll be able to select undeposited funds or payments to deposit, which is the same thing. Okay, so we're going to save and close, and you see that it's out of the bank account. Now, a lot of times people realize that when they're actually reconcile the bank account, okay, and it's impossible to reconcile because of this error. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to change it to payments to deposit, and we're going to save. All right. Okay, so the first thing that we did was to take it out of the bank account and send it to undeposited funds. Now we're going to click on the plus new, and we're going to see those two deposits over there, okay? The $500 and $750. I'm going to duplicate my page so that you can see that deposit in QuickBooks Online. So we're going to go transactions, bank transactions, and Chase. And so we see the deposit actually hit the account on November 5th, which is very common. It takes about a day to clear. And the amount is exactly the same amount as the sum of those two deposits. So we're going to click here on the first tab where I see the undeposited funds. Remember how we got there? We got to do the plus new, bank deposit, and voila. All right, so we're going to select those two deposits, and we can make sure that we fix the date of the deposit because it actually was deposited on November 4th. It cleared on the 5th, but I deposited on the 4th. So we're going to go ahead and save. We can do save and close, okay, or save and new. All right, there's two more here that doesn't belong, but we're going to go back here. All right, and now we're going to click on categorize and back to for review. When I'm doing this, I'm actually refreshing the page. So at this point, you should have seen a match to the deposit, but I didn't see it here because I probably made an error. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to click on this counter clock on the bank deposit. What this is going to show me is the last deposit that I did. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to see what I did. So I sent it to Chase Bank. The date is correct. The amount is correct. So everything is fine. So sometimes QuickBooks still doesn't pick up, and maybe it's because this is a sample account, but maybe you will see that because I've seen customers that still could not see the match even though everything was correct. So what I'm going to do is click on this transaction and open up, and I'm going to click on match. I do not want to add that because if I add that, I'm duplicating the sale. I want to be able to match it. I'm not recording any payments or multiple. I know that is a deposit that I'm looking for, and there it is. So it's only a single deposit on November 4th. There's no difference here. The date is correct. I'm looking at the deposit date versus the deposit date here. Everything is right, so I can go ahead and match. And this is perfect. Okay, so like I said, a lot of times people are not going to match, and then they recorded the payment into the bank account, and unless you reconcile this account, you may never know that there is an error. And even when you reconcile, if you don't pay attention, there are transactions that have not been selected, even though you have a zero balance. You still have an error on that reconciliation. You're still duplicating that income. All right, so the next example is a little different. So I'm going to show you what happens when you make a payment for more than what the invoice is due. Okay, so that's not for that. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to receive payments. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's suppose that I'm receiving payment from a customer, okay, and it populates all the invoices for that customer, okay. So I'm gonna change the amount of this invoice here, and I'm gonna say that maybe I recorded this invoice for $450, but the client ended up sending $500. So I'm just gonna save, okay. And now I'm going to receive payment. Now, keep in mind that if I'm receiving a lump sum, I can do it like this. I can do the plus new, I can do receive payment, and I can click on customer, and I can select all the invoices because this is all for the same payment. It was received on the 10th of November, okay? And it shows here $29.50. Okay, but I actually received $3,000. So we're gonna save and close here. I recorded the payment. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna record this payment for $3,000, even though my invoice totals is $2,950. So the amount of the credit is $50. So it's gonna automatically create a credit for this client. If it is an overpayment, and if it is indeed something that you want to record as an overpayment or a credit for the future, then this is fine. But it's going to create what we call an unapplied cash payment. And we're going to see what happens when you don't pay attention to that. So we're going to go ahead and save this payment. I send it to payment to deposit. So I made the right choice here, right? Instead of paying them individually and sending to the bank account. So I selected everything. But there is an error because I didn't fix the amount here. I put that I received $3,000, but the invoice totals were $29.50. Okay, now there is a thing. This client says that the $50 is for an extra service that I provided here. So it was actually going to be $500, but that invoice was not fixed. And I send the payment straight over into undeposited funds. So if I go over there, I see the payment is $3,000. I'm going to go ahead and record it, and we can match it, and it would be okay, but not really. It's not okay because what I have is what we call unapplied payment. And what happens is that if I create another invoice for this client, okay, so we're going to create an invoice, and we're going to say customer, and let's see, match 50, and let's see, sales, and it's $500. And you know, like I said, that $50 was supposed to be applied to one of the invoices that were received in the past. And I didn't, right? So we just accepted the payment, and there was a difference of $50. Now I created an invoice. The client sent a payment for $500. Watch what happens when I click on receive payment for this client. Okay, so it's automatically going to apply this unapplied payment, even though I did not mean to apply this towards this payment. And then look what happened. The amount received is only $450. So when I try to match this into the bank account, so I'm going to save this. And when I see this on the undeposited funds, I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to click on the plus new bank deposit to deposit the money. See, I am not going to be able to match it because it's $450. Okay, there's one way you can do, is this one. Okay, there's one way you can do, you can add to the deposit here, but you would be messing up this deposit because the money was supposed to be income for the prior deposit. So we're making a big mess here. So that's not what is supposed to happen. So how to fix that is what we're going to do right now. So first of all, I'm going to go into this transaction over here for $3,000, and I'm going to fix the invoice. I'm going to click on the invoice, and it may not let me because it's going to say that the payment is received, but sometimes it does. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add the additional sales amount for $50, and I'm going to save this invoice. Okay, now keep in mind, it's going to warn me saying, oh, there's other things that are associated with this, and now I only have a partial payment, right? So after saving, I'm going to click on this payment over here. And we're going to fix the payment as soon as QuickBooks allows. Sometimes it's thinking. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to try this again. There it is. Okay, sometimes you just have to close it and open again, right? Now you see that the original amount now is $500, not $450, and here's only $450 towards that $500 invoice that I fixed. I'm gonna fix that. So I'm gonna click over here, and now I'm gonna put $500. Okay, so once I put $500, and what I'm gonna do is just see that there is this payment here trying to apply for the second invoice for $50 here. Okay, I want to uncheck this because this payment had nothing to do with the invoice 1100. So it's just this invoice that needed to be fixed. So when I apply here, I'm going to save the transaction. Now I no longer have an applied payment. See, there is no amount of credit. All right. And now when I unselected that invoice for the $50, I automatically fix the payment. Okay. So I see that $3,000. I see the customer for $450 payment only. So now I'm going to fix that payment. I can fix it right from here. If I click on customer, it will open up that payment and see that now the balance is $500, and I can fix this payment for $500 and amount received $500. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay, now I have the right amounts. If I click on bank deposit, okay, now I'm going to record the deposit for this customer. See, we see it in banking here. I'm going to close this one. I'm going to go to the right account. You see that the deposit was $3,500. Now I can select those two transactions. Make sure the date is right. So it happened on the 25th. So I'm going to change that to the 25th. Make sure that the bank account is right. So I'm checking bank account, I'm checking the date, and I'm checking the amount. So I can go ahead and save. All right. And now I can go back here and refresh the page. I like to click on categorize and then for review. Still didn't work. That's okay. Even if I go add transactions, back to bank, and go to Chase, it's not refreshing. Okay, sometimes it doesn't happen. That's no problem. I can click on match, and it's going to try to apply to two separate deposits here. I don't want that, okay? I want to click on this single deposit because a single deposit has to match whatever happened in the bank. That's very important. This is going to guarantee that you're following the right workflow for QuickBooks Online. Okay, so I will go ahead and click here. Oh, okay, match. Did I go too fast? No, it happened. It just didn't. Okay, I'm just gonna refresh the page. That should have been gone. Okay, it is gone. Okay, all right. So now there's a few things that happen when I fix that transaction. One, when I reconcile, I will see that deposit exactly for the same amount that was deposited on the bank account. So I don't have to kind of add up the numbers to be able to come up with the right deposit. If you have tried to reconcile a deposit with multiple payments like that, I can guarantee it's almost impossible to do that. You have to go back, verify what's all included on that deposit, and then reconcile that. Now, it's time consuming, it's a headache, and all kinds of errors can happen when you follow that process. So follow the right workflow of QuickBooks, especially for multiple payments. Okay, so make sure you follow the right workflow. And when you record the payment, you record it to payments to deposit, and you make sure that the payment on the invoice is for the amount that is supposed to be. If there is extra thing that you don't want to add to the invoice, such as tips, when you select the deposit to add up, you can add tips right over here, receive from, and then tips, and then make sure that this amount will match in the bank. So that's fine. You can add that as well. But if it is something on the invoice that was added, another service or whatever, you want to be able to fix that. Okay, now we're going to talk about the third error. Most common error is a lot of people create rules for income transactions when they have integration. What's the problem with that? You are duplicating your income, because if you have an auto add, it's going to add as sales, and then that undeposited funds is going to be sitting right on undeposited funds without being fixed. We have a video on how to fix that, even if you have already reconciled. So go check it out. Very, very, very important. Okay, so those are the three things. Never create rules. But if you create rules, how to fix that? You go to rules. Okay, and then you can find the rule that is supposed to be income. Click on the arrow and you can delete the rule. You want to delete any kind of income rule that you have automation, such as you have integration, let's say with Square, Shopify, or whatever method, whatever third-party integration you are using. Because when you're using those platforms are sending the sales receipt if it is Square or Shopify, or sending the invoice if it is like Honeybook or Clover. They are sending all the undeposited funds that are sitting right on bank deposit to be deposited, recorded, and matched in banking. All right. Okay, perfect. All right. Let's go back here. Okay, guys, I hope that this information is going to be very useful to you. Now, I want to talk about something that is very important. Many of you who watch this channel week in and week out and get to learn a lot, which I'm so happy for that, you're not subscribed to our channel. So one way for you to help us is to be able to subscribe to our channel. You have no idea how much this helps us. And this will guarantee that we're going to continue to come back to you each week and bring you information that's going to help you navigate through QuickBooks Online. It is completely free. And it only takes like 1 second for you to click on that subscribe channel. The advantage is that you're going to keep receiving this kind of content week after week, and we're going to continue to improve, continue to get educated, and share that education information with you. We hope to see you back again. So please subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, or if you have any comments, write down below, and we'll get back to you right away. And until next time, keep on smiling.